The purpose of this presentation is to demonstrate the difference between Everpure filters and Arctic peaks. To give you some context as to why this is important, watch this news clip.
Many of us have filled up our cups at the local gas station.
But those self-serve soda fountains may be serving up a lot of bacteria. Dr. Kim Mulvihill is joining us here to explain, and this really isn't something that we want to hear a lot about.
No, you don't want to hear about it. You know, we love to fill her up. This is the handy-dandy little 44-ounce size. However, researchers tested more than 100 beverages from self-serve and staff-serve dispensers, and what they found coming out of these machines is pretty unappetizing. Researchers tested more than 100 beverages from self-serve and staff-serve fountains. What they found may turn your stomach. 48% of the beverages contained fecal matter. More than 11% were contaminated with E. coli, and 17% were tainted with a bacteria known to cause meningitis. Yuck.
Yuck. So how did these germs get there in the first place? Okay,
first off, full disclosure, they did not look at how the germs got into the drinks. And I think people need to be aware this is out there. You know, we like our beverages, we like the convenience, but I think we can do a better job keeping them clean. And I think the health departments are probably listening up on, hey, we got to test this stuff more
Crack
thoroughly.
down.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, Dr. Kim, thanks a lot.
You bet.
So contamination is a concern for any convenience store. You would expect your filtration to protect you from that type of problem. We'd like to turn now to the Everpure filter and a document that comes with each filter. We call it the service and warning document.
Examining the Everpure service and warning document, we will be focusing on the highlighted sections. Do not use with water that is microbiologically unsafe or of unknown quality without adequate disinfection before or after the unit. Each time you use water from your filtered water tap for drinking or cooking purposes, it is recommended that you flush the tap for at least 10 seconds prior to using water. Note: certain types of harmless bacteria will attack cellulose material. Cartridges containing cellulose may seem to disintegrate, produce a musty or moldy odor, or form a black precipitate due to the bacteria. Changes in taste, color, and flow of the water being filtered are signals that replacement of the cartridge is or soon may be necessary. Caution: all filtration systems contain other parts that have a limited service life. Exhaustion of the service life of those parts often cannot be easily detected. Commonly, it is only after leakage has been observed or water damage has occurred that one is made aware that the service life has been exhausted.
So as you can see from seeing and reading this service and warning document from Everpure, that contamination could actually originate with the filter itself. Some time back, a large coffee chain that uses this filter had over 1,000 stores shut down due to water contamination. It would be easy to conclude that some of that problem may have originated from the filter itself. Please understand that this contamination problem that you witnessed in the news clip is not possible with our water. Our water is 100% purified. And then we have a marvelous, simple little protocol that will protect the sanitation of the dispenser, which we can talk about later. So the next thing we want to talk about is hardness. That's lime, calcium, magnesium, iron, and those are heavy metals that are in the water. And there's a way to measure those, and we measure it in grains. Now, anciently it was a grain of barley, and 1 grain of barley was equivalent to 1 1/3 grains of wheat. So what that means, if somebody said your water was 10 grains hard, that would mean in 1 gallon of water, there was the equivalent of 10 grains of barley by weight. Now there's a way to measure that. So here's a sample of water that we've precipitated the hardness out of. So this is the hardness that ruins equipment, cappuccino valves, ice machines, and this is what everybody's fighting as an expense. Now this could be at one location. Now you'll notice we've done it with another sample from another location. And the two samples of water are very different. If water was 90% of the recipe, you can see that the two beverages could never have the same taste because the water is going to have different content and a different amount in it. We're able to fix that. We're actually able to measure the amount of hardness in water. We use a powder called a reagent, and that turns the water lavender. Then we use a titrant solution, 1 drop at a time, until the water turns blue. And when it's blue, that number of drops is the amount of grains that's in that amount of water. Now we're going to show you a short video that compares the Everpure treatment of hardness compared to the Arctic Peaks treatment of hardness. We're able to measure the hardness in water before it actually goes through the filter. So we take a pre-measured amount of city water, add the reagent to it, blend it in, then we add the titrant solution 1 drop at a time until the water turns blue. In this sample, it turns blue at 16. So the water is 16 grains before it goes into the Everpure filter. Now we're going to go to the scale inhibitor sample port and draw another measure of water and test it compared to the water going in. We take a pre-measured amount of water from the scale inhibitor, we add the reagent, and then we add the drops of titrant solution 1 drop at a time. You'll notice though that it turned blue at 15. We had to wait a little bit. It turned lavender again, and then we added 1 more drop. So from this sample, we see that the water is 16 grains hard going into the filter and 16 grains coming out of the scale inhibitor. Now we want to examine the water that the Everpure serves to the carbonator. Now we have to draw water from the carbonator, and from that we're going to draw a pre-measured amount of water, add the reagent to it too, and add the titrant solution 1 drop at a time until the water turns blue. So after having gone through the Everpure filter, from the scale inhibitor to the fountain, you would expect to see some level of reduction in hardness in the water. It turned lavender again, and then we added 1 more drop. We see that Everpure carbonated water still tests 16 grains hard. Now, the real test. Can Arctic Peaks do better than Everpure even at carbonation? Arctic Peaks purified carbonated water comes from the same municipal source that supplied the Everpure filter. It is then put through the same testing process. You can see that the water goes immediately to blue without adding any drops. So as you can see, the hard water is eliminated. And when you eliminate the hard water, you eliminate the hard water problems. We're going to show you how to quantify that and identify it as profit. We've created the Fountain Maximizer tool to be able to quantify the savings that we can provide for any restaurant, fast food, or convenience store. Our water systems are modified to fit the specific modifications for each location. We'd like to show you an example of how the Fountain Maximizer tool works. Ideally, it's designed to help you make an informed decision. We don't know what you pay for bibs, but in this example, we're going to use $60. And we have saved people greater than 15 or 20%, but we're going to be conservative and just use 12% here. Virtually every convenience store that we've ever analyzed has had a greater than $200 a month hard water expense. So we're going to put in $200. And in this particular scenario, again, our equipment is custom built for the needs of each location, but here we're going to use the number of 8,500. We'll run about a 12% maintenance factor on it, and we have financing expenses in there of about 5%, a 5-year term, and we're going to see what that investment results in. So your payback time is 1.7 years, and the return on investment in the first year is 47%, concluding the 5th year at 143%. As you can see with this tool, has an enormous impact on the profitability of the company. Stores are always going to be different and have different issues, but overall, this is an enormous impact for the potential increased profit for your company. To help you understand the flexibility of the Fountain Maximizer tool, we're going to change some of the variables in this example. We'll still use the same 30 bibs and the same price, Well, let's say we save you 16%. Let's say that your hard water costs per month are $300. So we just changed those two variables. We're going to leave the price at $8,500, 5% financing, and a 5-year term. So now the payback is 1.2 years. The return on investment first year is 66% and concludes at the 5th year at 202% return on investment. What I'd like to do is just summarize what we've talked about. Water is 87 to 92% of a fountain drink and 98.75% of a cup of coffee. So water plays the major role. So how does water cost you? Off taste, inconsistency, overfoaming, customers pour their drinks down the drain because they're not happy with it, syrup overdosing, extra syrup to coat foul water taste, water damaged valves equal unstable and inconsistent ratios. So this leaves you with lost beverage profits and unwanted costs. Treatment can fail or cause risk. Ineffective filtration can cause bacteria, fail consistent taste satisfaction, and contribute to foul taste. All water-related equipment is damaged by hard water. Beverages can run 30% of in-store revenue. Syrup overdosing may reach 20%. Coffee and brewing waste may reach 10%. Failing filtration and maintenance contracts are very expensive. The expensive ineffective filtration system, repairs labor due to shorter equipment life, failed equipment equals failed customer fulfillment, and failed customers means lost beverage profits. So what's your water costing you? Lost or infrequent beverage customers, replacing and maintaining equipment, biocontamination, reputation disaster? Would you choose to eliminate these losses and risks? Let's talk about a boil order, for example. If you had a boil order, how long before that boil order was the contamination in the water and you and your customers were drinking it? So a boil order is well-intentioned, but you can still be contaminated from it. Whereas with our system, it can ensure protection, exceeds health department codes for water safety. And in addition, we have a quick and easy daily dispenser sanitizing protocol that will protect your dispensers from contamination from outside itself. So the best quality for less. Arctic Peaks is a flavor and sweetness enhancer, up to 20% of the savings on syrup and fountain drinks, up to 10% savings on fresh brewed beverages. And what's it worth to have an outstanding reputation for high quality beverages? So best quality for less, the store's hard water maintenance expense evaporates, extends equipment life, and there is no safer high volume purified water available. And you become a customer preferred beverage destination. So our Fountain Maximizer system can provide effective filtration and purification with maximum hard water problem removal, consistent carbonation and syrup ratios, on-site beverage profits, preferred taste and safety for all on-site water-based beverages, tech performance in small footprint. Each store site builds a splendid reputation. So what does this mean for you? Well, one perspective we've already explained in quantifying the syrup and coffee savings into profit and the maintenance savings into profit. And that has a payback that's substantial, a substantial return on investment. But we have a second perspective that we'd like you to look at. We'd like you to quantify your reputation for having the highest quality consistency and taste with ensured safety for all on-site water and beverages. An example would be one bib of 640 ounces of syrup. If we successfully had a savings of 15%, that would mean you have 96 extra ounces of syrup. If you could give away or sell 3-ounce drinks for $1, that would mean in each bib you have $32 in extra profit. If you go through 32 bibs, that's over $1,000 a month in extra profit that you can capture. But how do you do it? Well, money talks. So now with our social networking, you launch a marketing advertising campaign spotlight optimum safety and quality for all on-site water-based beverages. You advertise that your store has a safe haven amidst boil orders or water emergencies. Advertise free purified water. And then the biggie is selling more drinks sells more merchandise. So this solution can increase your profit and provide a rapid payback. So here's your solution: increase profit with a rapid payback. Now for high and low volume stores, there's an important value in whole store enhanced cleanliness. That's always a splendid value. But the higher value for low volume sites lies in the issue of asking the question, why do you have low volume? So what if you enhanced your local and customer reputation and you actually sold all this savings? So now you build a reputation of beverages having the highest quality, consistency, and ensured safety, and a stunning public reputation. So for the smaller, low-volume stores, this is a must if you're going to be competitive. Whether you're a convenience store, fast food, or restaurant, you have the unique opportunity to employ Arctic Peaks and enhance your reputation and increase your profit. We invite you to investigate. Give us a call.